Welcome to Eric Bunk's Vintage Sportsman. Today we're back on the creek doing some bass fishing. Alright guys, we got our tackle box out here and we got a lot of baits. And we're in a small creek here, so we have a lot of things that we could be using. And there's just so many. I mean, buzzbait is a real great bait. And they got to be right, the conditions got to be right. Usually a cloudy day, but sometimes, like I said, if they're real active on the surface, give a buzzbait a try. And this chartreuse and white is always a great color. And you have your frogs, of course. These frogs are awesome. Everybody knows how great frogs are. But I just wanted to, go over. I got a bunch of different rods rigged up here, and I got, of course, you can see me use it. This is my rod with my spinnerbait on here, and this is my #1 spinnerbait rod because this spinnerbait just seems to produce real well in this off-color water, so I like using that. Then I like to have a rod with a Moss Boss on it, and this would be good if you come across a lily pad patch or something, and this will glide right across the lily pads, which is nice. You can get some of them strikes there, which is fun, or a frog. And of course I got my little Whopper Plopper top water on here, and there's just so many baits. I mean, the all-time favorite. And the water should be sometimes a little clear, but sometimes, like I said, if they're active on the surface, try the old Zara Spook. These things are awesome. I love these baits. They jump, and you put a little line tie on the front, and you put one of those little split rings, and it gives it better action. And then I put split rings on the treble hooks too, and they swing a little bit better, so that works nice. I'll bring the camera down, I'll show you some of these baits up close. Folks, this is just one of the many tackle boxes I have, but we're going to go over some baits and some bait selections today. You can just see here the selection that I try to bring. I try to do a little bit of everything here, and you have your head and brush poppers, classic lures. You got your classic Cavitron buzzbait. I mean, I try to get a little bit of everything, and I really try to experiment a lot. And here's one that a lot of people don't see anymore, or they don't use it. It's the old inline spinner, and I love these copper blades. I'll drop it there. These copper blades. This is just a neat bait to try out in the old standby, the old CP swing. Remember the CP swings when you were a kid? They're great baits, and they got the hair on the back of them. And here's an old Bill Norman triple wing buzzbait. This gets right up to the surface fast, and this is a white color. And I like to experiment. So many different things work at different times. It's just you got to just keep experimenting. And of course, you have all kinds of crankbaits, top water, and then the old super Zara Spooks. These Zara Spooks are just awesome. Then you have your blade baits. And, these baits are just awesome. Here, this Zara Spook has a big rattle in it, and I put a little bit of red on the bait with a magic marker. And like I said before, I put a split ring on the front, and I put a split ring on these treble hooks. And these treble hooks are sharp. But this bait right here, the big jumping minnow, you want musky strikes, big bass and pickerel. I mean, these things are just awesome. Awesome baits. And then of course you have all your plastics. I mean, springtime, I got creatures and creature baits, and you can I just like experimenting and see what works. And down in Florida, now Roland Martin always says the green pumpkin color for Senkos, but these swim baits, these are like a green pumpkin, and these baits are just phenomenal. I use these in Florida, and these gamblers are just awesome. And you have your old Gander Mountain frogs, and if you're fishing with a jig, throw some of these Rage Tail on, that motor oil color, that crawfish, tends to do real well. And I mean, there's just so many to choose from. And these are neat. Little sunfish baits. These are great around docks because sunfish love to go around docks. Catch a lot of fish on those. And I like to keep a bunch of rods rigged up, like I said, with different baits, so you don't have to sit there and switch all the time. And these are just some of the baits I use. Here's another one. These like swim baits are just awesome. And it's just great baits to use. Great baits. And I'm going to try. And here's a nice spinner bait here. This is more of a clear water. I like this in clear water. These silver blades like this, and that nice blue and white color. That's a nice clear water bait. It's a little bit on the smaller side, 3/8 ounce, and that's a good clear water bait. And you got your buzz bait, and like I said, the dirty water. That chartreuse really sticks out nice, and sometimes even black. This guys say at night you use black, but or on dark days you can black buzz bait. Is real good. Of course, the old jitterbug. And that's some baits I have here, and here's a nice live target frog. I mean, these things are great baits, and there's just so much to choose from. And you just gotta experiment, have fun with it. You know, you're not fishing the Bassmasters Classic. You know what I mean? And he said sometimes when I was a kid, this was a great bait too. I used to use the dying flutter. These sometimes they want these baits with that action. You know, you see what the fish tell you what they want. That's how I like them. That's the key. Get it way in there. Oh yeah, right in there. That's perfect. Got him. I got a fish. I got a bass. Let him get him out of there. Get him out of that cover. See? That's why you got heavy equipment. I told you, right in that. Look at that. Look at that frog bass. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Folks, there you go. I got that. I horsed him right out of that heavy cover on that frog. That was a nice bass. Now we're gonna let him go. We're heading up into some super shallow water now, and I'm going to go with this frog here. But I see a lot of perch biting, so I'll keep the frog for where I think there's some bass, but I'm going to go back to the old school of my childhood here. And we're going to break out the old spinning rod and the old jerk bait. Rapala, or in this case, this is a bass-colored Rapala. See if we can get some of them perch to hit. And we're going to go up in the lily pads up there and have some lunch. Relive my childhood memories of the old creek, which is great. So this is where it's at, folks. Oh, got one. Yep, got a fish. Got a fish. Don't feel very big. I think it's a bass. Oh yeah. He swiped that. Another one caught on the side. Look at this one. Oh. Wow. Look at that, folks. Something tried to eat that fish. Look at his bottom fin. I don't know if he's going to live, but we're going to let him go. Fish was healthy, but it had a big muskie or something must have grabbed it. Alright, that's fishing, man. Stay tuned. Oh, got a fish. Oh, got a fish, got a fish. Got a fish, got a fish. Oh, nice bass. Ain't bad. Ain't bad size. I thought I had a stick. Put him down that water. Oh, yeah. He swiped at it. Looks like he done swiped at it. I didn't know that was a fish. Alright. A little big. See, folks, what he did. He grabbed it. Looks like he swiped at it. And hooked him right in the fin. Alright, folks. Not super big, but it's a healthy fish. That's all that matters. But he took a swipe at it. Now we're going to let him go. There you go, Mr. Bass. Come on back. Alright, I'll show you what we got here. The old childhood playground. I didn't play sports. Still don't even care about sports. And this was where you'd spend your childhood. Many afternoons. Of course, I didn't have a decent boat. I had a little John boat, but this was the home territory. You didn't need anything else. Dream Mirror in the Bassmasters Classic before it got where it is today. Nobody knew about it. Well, people knew about it, but you know, you had to be a member. It felt like you were in an exclusive club. You know, everybody's basketball, baseball. I knew all the bass fishing guys. Here it is. All I'll do is flip this jig, pitch it right in there. Ooh, got a fish. Got a fish. Perch. Yeller perch. Woo, that's a nice yellow perch. Look at that, folks. That's a decent sized yellow perch. He's caught pretty good. I don't know how I'm going to grab him. Get him off there. Here we go. Got all 3 triple hooks on him. Musky bait right there. That's a nice little fish. Hey, love them yellow perch too, man.